Welcome to PFACS on EcoDev, the show that takes you inside the economic development of Pflugerville, Texas. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and each episode we will introduce you to the people and events that make our city so attractive to companies and their employees. Pfluger Talk is just another of the impactful initiatives created by the PCDC, Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Nirup Nagabandi from Essentium to the show. Nirup, how are you today?
Hello, Chris. I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful. I get to talk with business leaders and just cool people.
That's great.
Yeah, so before we talk about Essentium, I want to talk about you, where you grew up, kind of your background.
Sure, Chris. So myself, Nirup Nagabandi, I'm originally from India, and I moved to Texas A&M College Station in 2013 for my grad school. So I have my PhD in material science. And since then, as I graduated, I started working with Essentium because my friend started the company. And been with Essentium since then. And never wanted to move out of Texas. I loved as I moved here, so just continued with my friends and this amazing state. So that's a short version of my story. So
yeah, well, we're glad you're here for sure. So you mentioned it's your friend's company. How did he get started?
So, yes, my friends, Blake and Elisa Typo, along with a couple other folks, started the company Essentium Inc. Actually, it was started as Natural Composites back in 2013. Original intention was to create materials out of sustainable materials like coconut shell powder and, all kinds of plant materials. Since then, we have created a lot of different new chemistries and materials, and but we have also found ourselves that there is not too much market for that kind of products to kind of sustainably build a company. So, as we are trying to transition, 3D printing was just coming new in that age of 2015-16, and that's where my friends started to move our strategy and the product line into 3D printing materials and machines. So that's how it came about, and I'm friends with them through my grad school. Okay. And how long have you been with the company? I've been with the company since 2016. I joined as an intern in 2016. I've interned for about 18 months while I was doing my grad school, and as soon as I graduated in end of 2017, I started full time. Got it. And so you mentioned the company evolved from sustainable to more 3D printing. Is there still a sustainable aspect there? Yes, we see. I think our core belief is materials and sustainable materials especially are what the real need of the world and engineering problems can be solved with it. So the two pieces of our DNA about materials, we still keep very strong on it. The sustainability aspect too is overall 3D printing has proven in multiple studies and research that it can be sustainable. Is it sustainable as of today? Probably not because of the scale of economies, but that's what we want to drive here because 3D printing can lead to way more sustainable manufacturing, and that's what we are driving. So yes, sustainability is still one of our core beliefs, and we want to drive that through 3D printing. Right, and when I think of 3D printing, I think of the little box that my nephew has on his desk or the similar one that is at the public library. But looking at your website, these are huge. Yes. Yes, Chris. So yeah, see, in the 3D printing world, because it's a relatively new technology from the standpoint of manufacturing, right? Yeah. So the little boxes that are really good to kind of get everybody get used to and get a little bit of understanding of what this technology can do for you. But what we do at Essentium is huge. We can make about 3 feet by 3 feet huge parts, and we are typically working with the Air Force. We are working with oil and gas companies. We are working with big manufacturing companies because our printers are way faster, about 5 to 10 times faster than the typical printer you see out there.
Right.
And our printers can process more than 25 different material types. So we are primarily focused on industrial business to business and real life manufacturing. So yeah, there are different styles, and we are not the only ones out there. There is a lot of other technologies in 3D printing, and we are let's say we are the small box you mentioned in the public library. Let's say we are a big brother of that kind of printers.
Right. And talk about the materials, because you first talked about sustainable materials. When I picture the one at the public library, I think of this Day-Glo plastic spool. What's available now in terms of materials?
So yes, Chris, really, in the world of plastics manufacturing, when you take traditional manufacturing like injection molding, compression, all kinds of other sorts of plastic manufacturing, you have more than 1,000 grades of plastic, or even more, maybe 10,000 grades of plastic. It's, a wide range is available. Anything for your daily things, like the small pieces on your coffee maker, to all the things that you see in your house, all the way to about 50 to 60% of airplane, really. All the, seats, cushions, all of that, right? From there, in the 3D printing world, it is just starting to take off in different types of materials. And right now, you can probably print about 30, 35 types of plastic in 3D printing right now. Way smaller number compared to, thousands of materials in a traditional method. But this is what is a start. When you take 5 years ago, you were able to print less than 10 plastic materials in 3D printing. So the industry is taking off. The advantage is now you can only manufacture how much ore you need. So instead of, using, I need to make 1,000 of this, otherwise it's not profitable. With 3D printing, you can only make 10 and 15 and still be okay with that. So, there is all within this 30, 35 materials, Chris. There is all the way from hobbyist type of materials to aerospace grade materials. But we have a still long way in this industry to catch up in terms of material selection to traditional methods.
Right. And you talk about all the different types of plastics. Are there companies, and does your company print things in other materials like metals and ceramics and things like that?
Sure. So there's other companies that print with metal and ceramic, and also there is, actually a company in Austin called Icon printing houses with concrete.
With concrete,
Yeah, right. So there is other types of technologies in 3D printing that use different materials, like, metal and ceramic for manufacturing. Our company has already invested in an R&D program to create a metal printer. We are about 18 months into our program. We expect the development of our own metal printer to take anywhere from another 12 to 24 months. Once the project is completed, we will also be able to print with metals.
Nice. Very cool. And so what do you see as the big gain from doing it? I know you mentioned you don't have to build the big molds, and you can do just-in-time manufacturing, but what are some of the other gains? Are there speed gains, or what's the big gain from 3D printing?
Yeah, so there are a few, right? One is the design iteration for early stage, really,
Right.
because with a mold, you're logged in with your design. And even if you find out your competitor came up with a better design or you yourself figured out, hey, based on customer feedback, I want to tweak this, but you're logged in because you have invested in this molds already, right?
Right.
So your product evolution and your customer experience is gonna be able to be very agile. You can change your products in months or weeks, not multiple years, because you're locked in. That is number one. Number two, design freedom allows you to kind of reduce your complexity of manufacturing. Because in certain cases, you can't manufacture certain organic shapes or certain complex shapes. So now you have to manufacture them in 3 or 4 different pieces and combine them.
Right.
Whereas in 3D printing, you can combine the design and make it 3D printable, and you eliminate that assembly process, so faster to market, reduce your product cost, right? So those are some important pieces, along with if you're only making 1,000, 10,000 a year, then obviously just-in-time manufacturing is a benefit that you've just mentioned. Other important aspect is custom materials. So because this is a very upcoming technology, as you find newer technologies, newer applications, and because everything is just being built, you can relatively cheaply or easily develop a new material. So, which otherwise would not be worthwhile, right? Because let's say I'm this material maker for injection molding company or injection molding technology, and you come to me and ask for, hey, you have this material, I want it at 10% stiffer, right? And I'll be like, how much will you buy? 2 tons. Well, you know what? It's not worth our time because we sell 50 tons. This is the closest we have. Sorry. But within the 3D printing world, because it can work with small volumes, it's relatively easier and available to make new innovative materials which might unlock more applications. So these are some of the benefits, and along with on time, reduced shipping costs because you can do it here and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely could see a lot of cost reduction, just like you mentioned earlier, the iteration time and the speed. It's got to reduce cost.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. So tell me about Essentium. Did it start in Pflugerville, or did this move to Pflugerville?
So we actually started in College Station. Like I said, I met my friends Typos in College Station for grad school. They, along with other folks, started the company in College Station. So as we were growing, at about 2017, we were little more than 25 people by then, and we started to grow, which meant College Station won't be a really growth place for us anymore. And we were looking for spots to move in Texas. And obviously the Texas Triangle, right? We were looking for Dallas, Fort Worth area, Houston, San Antonio, Austin areas. And really, Pflugerville Commerce Department, encouraged us as a young company. They gave us the best encouragement and support, and helped us with the resources that made us, we were pretty neutral, looking where to go, but Pflugerville Commerce Department helped with the right resources that said, okay, this is the place we want to be. So we moved here in 2019, and we have been here since then.
Nice. And so now that you've been here, what would you say are the selling points of being in Pflugerville?
Oh, yeah. So first and foremost, the local government is super encouraging of new and upcoming companies, and they're taking bets on companies that have promise, right? So not all governments are risk-taking. we have been surviving. We have been doing good, thanks to, encouragement from local and also across other communities, right? But we could have easily failed. I mean, the local government didn't know if you were going to win or not, but they took a bet on us. But they're doing this with other companies too. Yeah. So, and they're very responsive and reachable. Like, you have an issue, you want to reach out to community, you want to kind of say, hey, we want to do this, could you help us? They're always responsive. So with that, what is happening is, it's not just companies. That also means that they're able to lure talent in the area where we are able to hire workers. We are able to work with the local government seamlessly. Right. I mean, during COVID, we had to set up manufacturing of. So Texas National Guard asked us to print them about 30,000 masks for the first responders. And wait, it's COVID. Like, we need to set up a whole electrical system and everything. And we reached out to them, and they made it possible within a day. They sent us a crew, and which otherwise typically would take like half a month or 3 weeks, right? Yeah. But they were able to help us and do it within 2 days. So, see, things like this. So, very helpful, very responsive government, which also creates an ecosystem of good talent around that you can hire. And also, I think they have taken enough measures to kind of keep, very good connection and reach out with small businesses, so you can talk to other business owners and kind of exchange tips and tricks of what's working, what's not working, and, pretty healthy business environment.
Nice. And what sort of interaction do you have with the PCDC? Is it regular, or is it occasionally you do things?
Yeah, I will say occasional, really, because, we most of the time we reach out to them whenever we need some help, really. Yes. Yeah. And they have been kind to us and respond every single time. So, it's occasional whenever we need help, whenever we need some resources. That's when we reach out, and they have answered every single time. So, but I think recently, once in a while, they would ask us to attend their events, and we would go and try to do our part back to the community. But most often it's whenever we need something from them, or if they have some event that would be beneficial if we attended, that they would reach out, and pretty much that's the kind of relationship.
Excellent. And as far as Essentium, who are your typical customers? Who do you serve?
Yeah. So, Chris, really, it's going to be a little bit of a big answer here, because so far we have really focused only on a B2B basis, which means other big manufacturing companies are our customers primarily, because we make printers that range from $150,000 to about $250,000. And the materials that go with those printers, which typically are about $100 to $100 a kilo to $1,000 a kilo, right? Our customers have been U.S. Air Force. We have customers in commercial aerospace. We have oil and gas customers. We have contract manufacturers as our customers, and others, any kind of other manufacturing companies, really. That's been our big market so far. But very recently, we have partnered with a brand called 3D Fuel, which makes fun colors in hobbyist material. And now we are able to manufacture, with that partnership, we are able to manufacture all of this in our own facility here in Pflugerville. So now this is opening up our customer base to hobbyists and everyday 3D printers. By far, B2B and big companies are still our, by far the most revenue-based business. U.S. government is the biggest ones we have. But we are starting to create a base on everyday 3D printer users.
I love that. Well, how can people find out more about the company? What's the website?
Yeah, so you can go to, actually there are three avenues. One, you can go to Essentium.com, find out everything we do. And if you're, looking for yourself, your home printing and everything, you can go to our sister website, 3dfuel.com, and learn more about what you can do at your home with fun colors and everyday printing materials. Third option, really, actually, we just about 2.5 months ago opened a storefront at our factory here in Pflugerville.
Nice.
So you can drop by, chat with our store associate. Sometimes I man the store as well. You can chat with me as well. More than happy. Occasionally we might host tours to our factory. So if you drop by, we'll keep you posted on the dates. But Essentium.com, 3dfuel.com, or drop by in our store here in Pflugerville.
Excellent. Nirup Nagabandi, thank you so much for sitting down with me, sharing some of your story and Essentium story.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me. And thanks to your listeners and, all the good words your team has been saying about us. So thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the PFAX on EcoDev show, brought to you by the Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. I'm your host, Chris Daly. I want to thank my guests. I also especially want to thank you, the listener, for giving me what I consider the most important gift you can, your time, your attention. Please like and share this show so we can get it in front of more people and more people can learn about economic development. To learn more about Pflugerville and all the amazing things going on, head over to pfdevelopment.com.